Hey everybody! Today we're talking about Hourglass's new Modernist palette, which came out pretty recently, so I figured you might want to know everything there is to know about it. First of all, it's a $58 palette, so you probably really want to know about this because that's a pretty expensive palette if you ask me. There's a lot of things that do make this palette special, but I think you should know more about it before you spend your $58 on it, because that don't come easy. First of all, there are 7 different Modernist palettes. Atmosphere, which are the cool neutrals. Color Field, which is olive toned. Exposure, a palette of plums. Infinity, which are the warm neutrals. Monochrome, a palette of rose shades, which is the one I'm showing you today. Finally, Obscura, which are the earth tones. Apparently there's also one more that is exclusively available at Sephora called Graphite. What do I think of this palette, you might ask? First off, I really like the packaging of it. It's a sleek little package that opens really nicely with a large mirror in the back of it. This is apparently made through a multi-press process, which I don't really know what it means. I'm kind of guessing that it's made all together in a pressed sort of mold so that the colors blend really seamlessly together. What I first noticed about this is how smooth and blendable these colors are. I feel like the texture is almost creamy, but it's definitely a powder. It has an almost ethereal texture. Even the matte shades somehow achieve that look. I also love that there's almost zero fallout with this, which is something that is hugely annoying when you spend a lot of money on a palette. I can definitely think of a few palettes that I've spent good money on that have crumbles going all over my face. Why? No. I definitely haven't run into that problem with this. The palette I chose, again, is called Monochrome. It's what they refer to as their rose-toned palette. It's got a matte cream white color, an iridescent champagne color, a matte light rose color, a pale taupe, and a deeper chocolate brown. Truth be told, if I had to do it over again, I probably would have gotten one of the palettes with darker, deeper colors in it because this is a very pale palette. I just wish I had a bit of a richer palette. The colors are really pretty and they are nicely pigmented. So it really has nothing to do with the actual palette, just my selection hasn't turned out to be my favorite in the world. If you are looking for a kind of pale, neutral, easy to use everyday palette, I would definitely recommend this monochrome one for you. But I just have a lot of stuff like that, so it wasn't super exciting or anything. Nothing personal. Monochrome palette. This is also free of parabens, sulfates, phthalates, gluten, and GMOs. On their website, I also found that it says you can apply the shimmery shades with a wet brush to achieve a more dramatic look. I really actually like that idea because some eyeshadows aren't compatible with a wet brush and you find out after you dip your wet brush in there and then ruin the shadows. That's pretty cool that you can apply them wet, in my opinion. I guess the thing that I'm most impressed with this palette is that it's essentially foolproof. You really can't mess this up, and that's great for someone like me who isn't really fantastic at applying eyeshadow. If you're like me and you're not a wizard with the eye makeup, this palette might be for you. I really like the color selections that they made with these. I don't feel like it would be one of those palettes that you were picking and choosing colors that you liked and disliked. I think they all go really nicely together and they were very tastefully chosen. There's something really beautiful and artistic about this in its own right. I think this would be a good step into the world of eyeshadow palettes because I think you could pretty much sit there and put as much of this product on as you wanted, just testing out the waters, and you wouldn't look ridiculous. There's seriously no way to screw this up. I think you'd really have to try and mess it up. Also, in wearing this for an entire 9 hours the other day, I noticed that it was fairly long wearing. I did have a Maybelline color tattoo under it, and that may have had something to do with it because that stuff holds on like nobody's business. But even using that, I've noticed other shadows kind of, where'd they go? Where'd they even go? You put them on that morning, they're gone. And I really didn't have any creasing problems, which is genuinely like a gift from the heavens, because I hate that. Also, another thing that I hate about a lot of eyeshadow palettes is the fact that when you start layering colors, it starts looking very overdone, very chunky, very pancaked on. It occurs with really cheap eyeshadows sometimes, and really makes you mad when it occurs with not so cheap ones. Maybe it's just my eyelids, but it's just an awful look. With this, I think because it's so finely milled and soft. I did not notice that whatsoever, and I really did try to layer this on just so I could give you guys a good overview of what it's actually like to use it. If I had it to do over, I would probably go for the palette in exposure, just because I think it's a little more of a walk on the wild side for me, and the colors are just more dramatic. I think with this palette, it might be worth trying something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, just because of how foolproof it is. If you did buy this palette, comment down below. Let us know what you think about it. I think varied opinions are a really good resource, and this is just one person's opinion. If you don't own it and you want to, let us know what color you'd want to get. Let me know. All right, everybody. That's it for the Hourglass Modernist palette review. I hope that was of some help to you, because I do realize what an investment and what a chunk of money these products can be. It's great to know what you're walking into. I make videos on here every week. If you're interested in joining me, I'd really love to have you. I'm gonna roll a couple of my other videos that you can click on if you want to go and see them. I do beauty, DIY, travel, fashion, silly, ridiculous videos on here all the time, and I've just started vlogging. I really appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye! Meow, meow, meow.